Why are people in an uproar about Elon Musk buying Twitter? Just school me. I don't know.
They just don't know. The people are just upset because the outrage fuels the internet, and it fuels their websites, and it fuels their articles, and it fuels their clicks, et cetera. So I think that's where they're doing that. But the interesting thing about him buying social media and why it's worth $44 billion is like, if you're a billionaire, you need a news outlet to protect you, right? Like Jeff Bezos has the Washington Post. He doesn't have that because he's a big fan of the articles they produce. He has that because he needs something to run interference and protect him.
Bad investment, though.
It depends. If you care about it profiting, maybe it's a bad investment. Mm-hmm. But if you care about it putting out propaganda to protect you and make you look like a good person and control narratives, then it's a brilliant investment.
But you could do that with social media. Like, what newspapers do we really trust nowadays?
Charlemagne, I'm sorry. Say that one more time. You could do that with
with social media.
Oh, you can do what?
But even
no.
You can do that with social media.
So the new way of billionaire, if you're a smart billionaire, you won't buy a newspaper. You buy
social media.
Social media. That's why I buy Twitter. Exactly. You're right.
Listen, but why though? And the reason I say why, you're Elon Musk. You already got 83 million followers.
I'll tell you why.
And you can pay for campaigns.
I'll tell you why. Because he needs to be able to control his narrative, and he can't truly do that if he's being throttled on Twitter. Yep. He doesn't have the true control of his narrative like Jeff Bezos goes, yo, write an article that says I'm the shit and I'm way better than Elon and Elon's dangerous. He can criticize his adversaries like he's been doing with Bill Gates and all these other people himself, and nobody can stop him, right? Now, I don't think this is all altruism. I think Elon's a really good guy, and he's amazing. He's trying to solve problems that are going to help humanity. But I also think that there's a form of control so he can continue to solve problems as he sees fit, and nobody can interfere. It's genius.
I don't think you're wrong at all, but when you're Elon Musk and you're the richest man in the world, people are always going to pay attention to you. It's just like Donald Trump, right? They take Donald Trump off Twitter, but they said now his content goes even more viral.
No, it doesn't go more viral. He doesn't affect the news the way he did.
No, already, he don't affect the news the way he did because he's not president no more. But there was an article that came out that said his supporters take what he says and spread it more on Twitter and everything else now because he's not on.
I ain't heard nothing else from him since he was president. I heard nothing.
Yeah, he's not
one
president.
thing.
They don't take him. But by the way, him being president is the equivalent of somebody like Elon Musk being that rich. Because that was his source of power. That was his source of script. You got to pay attention to the president. People say shit like, you got to mute Donald Trump. He's the fucking president. You couldn't ignore him. Yeah. It's the same thing with Elon. Elon can make a statement anywhere, and if it's I don't know, fire enough, it'll spread.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't think you need Twitter for that.
You don't need it, but it establishes more control and it stops other entities from being able to silence you. Yeah. And if you are that rich and you're doing things that are that impactful globally, you need to create some protection and some barriers. Yeah. You just need to. It is what it is. It's like,
I don't know if you can. I mean, I get what you're saying. I just don't know if that's possible in 2022.
I think it is when you own the platform.
But what about all other platforms?
Well, motherfuckers.
And Twitter not even a top 15 social media app.
It's not about whether it's top 15 or not.
It has impact.
It has impact because it is where the news is. Like, that's where I get my news. And that's where Washington Post posts the news. That's where the Times posts the news. That's where everybody posts the news. So if you look at where news comes out, right, and where things begin to trend, right, and I'm not talking about stupid dance moves. I'm talking about, like, is a war happening? Actual news.
70% of all breaking news is on Twitter.
Exactly. So don't buy the New York Times. Buy the place the New York Times breaks the news, which is on Twitter. No one goes to the New York Times website. They go to Twitter, they see an article, then they go to the New York Times website. So he's like, fuck it, I'll just own that thing. And I don't even need to control the news that comes out. I'll just be able to say whatever I want. And because I own it, motherfuckers talk about me. We were listening to that Jack Dorsey guy, right? The guy who owned it before. Yeah. Why are we listening to him? Why do we care what he says?
Because he's rich and he owns Twitter?
Because he owns Twitter. Well, now this guy owns
we gave
Twitter.
A fuck about Tom, and Tom never even spoke. We don't even know if Tom was a real person.
I don't. Shouts
Y'all
to Tom,
remember Tom from MySpace?
Shouts to Tom.
That's what I'm saying.
What about Siri?
Huh?